So, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few weeks since I've even had a chance to do anything to the Mini. Combination of being busy at work, broke fingers playing football with the kids, as you do, and been on holiday. So just general life has got in the way. But now things quieten down a little bit. It's a chance to get on with it again and see if we can solve the problem. The last video, I'll leave a link at the top. I tested the pressure in the fuel rail, thinking it's over fueling. I've had a few comments on that video and some other ones about the issue that it has, saying that they can't hear the noise and that sort of thing. It's very hard to get it across exactly what it's doing on a video and the noise that it's making. Sounds like it's backfiring a little bit. I've had a lot of comments saying it's just had a pop and bang map, they all do that, etc, etc, etc. Fair enough, couldn't agree more. Yes, it might have had a pop and bang map, but the one thing that makes me think it isn't that is when I've driven it. I haven't driven it very much because I know something's wrong with it, so I don't want to drive it too much. You can feel it hesitate slightly. So you're driving along, argument's sake 50 miles an hour, and you feel it just hold back very slightly, not much, just a little, and then it's like the flick of a switch and it goes again. It just goes off normally, and then it's like flicking a switch and it holds back very slightly. I turned the aircon off, thinking it might be the aircon pump coming in and out, because obviously that zaps a lot of power. Didn't make any difference at all, and it seems to do it all the time. So I can't imagine that that is anything to do with a pop and bang map. So there's definitely 100% not right, and that makes me think it's not a pop and bang map, or it's just the general popping that it does in the normal tune from factory. That's why I tested the fuel rail pressure, which seemed to be okay from my understanding. So now I'm going to whip the injectors out and test those. My brother has a machine for testing spray patterns and that sort of thing, so it might be not shutting off properly, might be dripping, which then the fuel isn't burning in the combustion chamber. It's then going in the exhaust, and that's when it's burning. Might not be the case at all. And also, I might just change the fuel filter. I had a lot of comments about issues with fuel filters and that sort of thing causing running issues. But with the pressure being, what I assume is, or from my understanding, it's all right, I can't imagine that that is the problem. But for the sake of 15 quid or whatever a filter's going to cost, I'll only buy a decent one. I'm not going to buy some rubbish Chinese thing, or an unbranded filter. I'll only buy a decent ones. You don't save money in the long run by buying cheap. So yeah, we'll get one of those. I need to get that in order, but I'll whip the injectors out now and take them over to my brother's, and hopefully he can test them properly and see if they're all right. It's fairly simple to get the injectors out, especially as I didn't fit the intercooler correctly when I done the rail pressure test. So I took the intercooler off, I've then taken the gauge off, I then disconnected the fuel supply pipe by pushing in the little plastic clip in the end and pulling the pipe off. I've then disconnected the 4 electrical connections for each injector, and then undone the 2 13mm bolts that hold the rail down. With a bit of force and a bit of jiggery pokery, the rail comes off. I've then drained the fuel out that's remaining in the rail as that's full, and then pulled the remaining 2 injectors off before filling in the holes. So they're now out. Unfortunately, these ones, I don't know whether they were cracked beforehand. You can see, just in there at the end of my finger. So these ones, that one and that one's the same there somewhere. They came out the rail when I was trying to get it out, but from what I have seen online is if it's got 2 holes in the end, they are genuine ones. Can't quite see it on here, but yeah. You can see it better there, look. So they all seem to be genuine ones rather than some Chinesian ones. So we'll mark these up so I can put back in the exact same place. Unfortunately, I did manage to drop a seal. So one of the seals has gone down there slightly, so I'm just going to have to try and fish that out. But, so I'll clean these up, we'll label them up, and we'll get them tested. Pretty good. It's been a few weeks since I tested the injectors, just family life, work life, and I've had COVID for the third time, has all kind of got in the way and stopped any progress. But fuel filter has arrived. It's a Marl one, so it's decent quality. So you can see I've got a cartridge, and it also comes with a big old bag of O-rings, gaskets, etc. and things like that. So we have to, from my understanding, you get to the fuel tank from underneath the rear seat. So we'll pull that up and we'll have a look. So I've removed the base of the back seat, throwing that in the front, which reveals these two panels. From my understanding, it's underneath this one, which is on the right hand side of the car. In the UK, it is the driver's side. So I've taken off the 10mm nuts, and with a bit of gentle persuasion, we can get the cover off. So that reveals the top of the tank. So this is the feed pipe, which runs to the front to supply the fuel rail with fuel. So there's a little green clip, which should be green if it wasn't dirty. If we just squeeze the sides in of that slightly and give that a little pull, hopefully that will famous last words, hopefully that will come off. It's fighting me. Oh, little bugger. I'll have to try using a pair of pliers. Squeeze in the little green clip. Let's see if we can get that pipe off. Squirted a bit of fuel out there. What we should have done is pushed the little release, the pressure release valve on the end of the fuel rail, which we saw from the previous video where I put the pressure gauge. So that would have released all that pressure, but never mind, it's a bit late now. Let's just get a rag and we'll try and dry some of that. Let's clean that up. But you can see the green clip here, and you just push these tangs in here to release it. So if I just move him out try and move him out the way, he's not going to. But there, let's just soak up a bit of that fuel. I've got a feeling that isn't going to be the last time we drop some fuel. This needs to spin off. So it's going to need a bit of gentle persuasion. There you go, ring off. Now this should then hopefully just pop off, revealing the inside of the tank and the filter and everything. So there's got to be pipes at the bottom of the filter, so we're just going to be careful about those, that we don't damage them or break them or anything. So obviously there's seals in all of this, which is what we're fighting against here. So just gently, obviously you don't want to break anything. There you go. So from my understanding, the top has to twist off. So if we hold that, carefully put a screwdriver in here. Go. Gently pull this top bit off, hoping there's not going to be much fuel come out again. It's again fighting, you can hear it. It's fighting against those seals. gentle persuasion, we're getting there. Oh shit. It's probably not how to do it, is it? Drop that back into the tank, but there we go. You can see we've got the top off, and you can now see the filter. If we pull that off, oh shit. Well, look at the state of that. So I don't really mean to drop it all in the fuel tank and drop fuel everywhere. But if we spin the camera around and have a look, you can see just how dirty this is. So I dread to think, look at the state of that colour of that fuel in there. Dread to think when this was last changed, or even if this has ever been changed. So it can only be a good thing changing this, and surely it's got to run properly when it's being filtered correctly. So the filter's off, you can see, so I'll find a box to put that in, get it out of the car and tidy all this up. Look at the state of that. Obviously this might be dirty, but that was basically that fuel came out of that filter is that colour. It's absolutely disgusting. So you can see in here just how dirty that looks. So I'm going to use a syringe and suck all that out of there, because I don't fancy putting that straight through the new filter into the engine. Look, it's black. So that's as much out as I am going to get. So now it's got a new filter. Got a little O-ring at the bottom there. Let's have a look to change what we can. So these are the same size. Yep. Come on, you little bugger. There we go. This old one. Let's just work a new one onto there. Lovely. And chances are there's one in here as well. Look. Just a little one around here. You can't quite see it. So that one off. New one on. So doesn't look like this goes any way round. Push that down into there. Right, he's clicked in place. So this seal here is the one that was fighting against when we were putting it on, so we'll change him. He was just sitting loose in the top here, but this is obviously where it goes. And this seal here. Two of those come with it, but I'm not sure. One down there. That seems a bit loose. Let's try this one. No, they're the same size, so let's put him back on. Now, I reckon we're good to go. Let's stick this on. So he went that way. Okay, that way. Spin that way. bloody thing. Woo! Wasn't easy. Right, let's put the spin ring back on. He's nice and tight. And put that back in. Job's good. So let's get rid of those old gaskets, seals. Give it a bit of a tidy up. And what I might do before I put on this panel back on, just fire up the ignition a few times so the pump primes, just to make sure we've got no leaks. So sod's law, as it's been stood here for a few weeks without me doing anything to it and hasn't really been used, the battery's gone flat when I've tried to turn the key on to prime the pump to see if any leaks. So we'll move the disco up, we'll jump start it, leave it running for a bit, get a bit of charge into the battery and check for leaks while we and then as long as it's not leaking, we'll put the panel back on, put the rear seat back together, and we'll go from there. Just turn the ignition on and get the pump whirring away. Let's try it again. Yeah, getting some air through. So there, prime that a few times. Let's give it a whirl, see if it'll start. There. Job's a good one. So the car's still running. You can see there's no leaks, everything there is nice and dry, so we're all good. Check this back on. So we just need to take it a little spin, see if that's made any difference. Can't imagine it has at all by the there's nothing wrong with the injectors. The fuel filter was dirty, but other than that, you know, I don't know when it was last changed, so that yeah, might have a contributing factor towards it, but we shall see. So I've got to admit, I have been a bit slack on the Mini. Since that last pass at the video, I should think a good 3 months has passed with me not doing a lot or even driving it since changing the filter. I did go to it at one point and the battery was flat. I did jump start it off my Discovery, left it running for a bit to see if I get some charge into it, and the battery was obviously knackered because it didn't have enough power to really even turn it over. So I thought, right, I only bought that back in April, so, well, it's now January, so it's under warranty, but I went to take it back eventually, and their battery tester wasn't working, so they wouldn't accept any warranty claims because they couldn't test the old battery, although obviously I'm not going to take a decent battery back under warranty. But anyway, I've now got a new battery. It is now fitted. So let's go for a first start up from as it's been stood here for quite a few months. So hopefully, fire straight up. In previous videos, there's been some people comment regarding the noise that I keep hearing. Some people can't hear it, some people can, some people saying it's normal, the little backfiring that it's doing, and that sort of thing. And there's also somebody commented about, let's turn this off, about changing the fuel filter, which in the meantime I have done. And he said that he changed his, he was getting similar symptoms to mine. He changed his and it was absolutely filthy, which, going back to earlier in the video, when I changed mine, it was black. It was horrible. So we've only got just under a quarter of a tank in this, so I don't know how old that fuel is. Obviously I haven't put any in it since doing it, so I'm going to take it for a little run and I'm going to put some decent fuel in it, some high octane stuff, so BP Ultimate for example, or yeah, Shell equivalent, whatever. I can't think what it's called now. So yeah, I'm going to put a load of fuel in it, take it for a little run and see what it does. So hopefully, said person commented saying that theirs was doing the similar sort of thing. So hopefully that has cured it. But also, as mine now has no cat in it, any noises through the exhaust are going to be louder than expected because it's pretty much got a straight through exhaust. So that might be making the noises that I'm hearing amplified compared to normal, which makes it sound like it's not right. So finally getting a bit of progress. It's been a while, so I apologise for any people that has been following the updates on this, but we'll take it for a run, put some decent fuel in it. Might as well fill it up. I can't imagine there's a very big tank on this, so I'll fill it up with some decent fuel, take it for a little run and see how we get on. Awesome little car. Brakes are shocking as they're a little bit corroded after being sat for a while, but give it a little bit of a run. Bit of left foot braking as we go along, just apply the brakes slightly. Should clean the discs or rotors if you're in America. There, we'll pull in here, get a bit of Shell beam power. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. So we're back. Stuck 50 quid in it. It's £1.70 a litre. So we're up to just under a full tank. Have to flush out all the nasty stuff anyway. Let's go. Nice pulling out this petrol station. It's just after a corner. test drove one when they first came out, Cooper S works, and I had a Subaru Impreza WRX at the time, and I was so impressed with the Mini I nearly bought a new one, but I didn't. So it would have been 2001, and I've now finally got one. Never had one before, and that puts a smile on your face now, like it did back in 2001. You think how cars have come along in that time. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but as they say, it's about smiles per mile. And this definitely puts a smile on your face. Steady through this little village. And my gran lives here as well, so you don't really want to annoy the locals. Traction light going nuts. See some flames out the back. So there, it's driving, popping and banging a bit, but it's driving better than what it was before. So perhaps it was fuel filter, combination of all the things that I've done to it might all have a positive effect. None of them are going to have a negative effect, are they? But might have a positive effect. So I think that's a good job jobbed, and we'll get it through its MOT. I think get it booked in for a track day at some point. So thanks for watching. If you have been watching the videos on the Mini, now in my road got a load of speed bumps, so we're just trundling along 20 miles an hour, 4th gear, 2000 revs. It seems fine. So gently accelerate like before. It's automatic. No, seems to be alright. So I think it'll just be a case of using it a bit more, bedding in new parts. Obviously you've done the timing chain and everything like that, so hasn't really been run since then. So it'll be a case of bedding in all the new parts, getting all the fluids around it nicely, and just actually getting it used. So as it's now January, and I bought this in April last year, so it's dragged on a bit. So if you have been watching the videos on the Mini, which I know there's quite a few of you have, thank you very much for watching and liking, and your comments throughout and that sort of thing. So I think all that's left to do now on it is get it MOT'd and taxed, so I don't have to worry about trade plates, so I can use it for own use rather than just test drives, and get it booked in for a track day. That'll be the ultimate test of how well it goes, really. So once again, thanks for watching, and there'll be a new video hopefully coming soon.